This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
To a cold, frigidly cold morning here in the Lowveld, where we've come back to Leopard Dam. We're busy watching pied kingfisher doing some early morning fishing. The early bird catches the fish, I suppose. Oh, look at this, coming lower and lower, flying off. We've come here specifically to try and see if we can have a look at this carcass. Hi everyone, my name is Mike Anderson. Behind the camera is Craig, and this is Pride Lands Eco Training Conservancy, where last night hyenas stole that carcass and moved it out of the mud, and were also attended by a leopard. We didn't see any of this, unfortunately. It happened during the night, but one of the game viewers who came to investigate in the evening when it was dark did see this happening. So what is... Oh no, it's the... I'm trying to see if there's any carcass that I can see around, but it's completely gone now. And I want to go and walk around the dam now and see if there are any tracks and signs of where the leopard might have gone. We saw the hyena this morning as we arrived at Leopard Dam. The hyena was loping off with a full belly. Egyptian geese are not happy about something. Might be the other birds that are arriving at the water's edge, like the blacksmith lapwing. We also had the great fortune this morning to see 2 honey badgers, which is something very, very unusual. The tracks were also coming into this area, so I wonder if they also wanted to investigate the carcass this morning. And though I'm not sure how many of you would have seen a honey badger before, especially on the show, probably a couple of times, but it's not that common. But if you have any questions or comments about anything that we see on these live safaris out here, please don't hesitate to send them through to the WildEarth Explorers page. And if there are any youngsters watching, please send your questions through to kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. We'd love to hear from you. It makes our job so much more interesting and fun if you send questions through that we can rack our brains and answer. It can be about behavior, can just be... Oh, listen, you can actually hear the hyena, but it's very far away. It has not stopped. It's gone all the way over the crest. You can hear it calling, probably on its way back to its den. The little grebe still enjoying the waterhole. As the waterhole shrinks, the fish and the frogs become more concentrated, which actually makes the little grebe's job a lot easier. I was amazed by how long they can go underwater. As you probably know, very, very, very territorial. If I would play the call of that little grebe, definitely come rushing over here. See the kingfisher there, actually going to wherever the grebe is. So we saw the grebe just go under, and there's a pied kingfisher. It's just kind of following it, because as the grebe moves through the water, it will be disturbing fish. Very actively hunting this morning. Absolutely incredible. Right, let us, whilst we watch this beautiful scene, let us have a look what the weather is like all over this part of Southern Africa.
because she was also saying that she was...
Good morning. Look how beautiful. Oh, we've been here for 5 minutes. That's the first time the hippo popped his head up. We are started here at Djuma Dam. Good morning, everybody. My name's John T. We got Darren on the camera, and we are going to try and find you some magic this morning. It is nice and fresh. It's beautiful. So, Djuma Dam again last night. Some incredible footage filmed on dam cam. The hyenas, they caught a duiker. And apparently then a male lion ran in and stole it from them. Ridiculous. But we just wanted to listen. There was also a report of leopard audio early this morning. And I would like to try catch up with those lions. I know some of the other vehicles are in that area already. In that part of the property we allowed 2 vehicles at a time. And the update is that there are lion tracks sort of all around the buffalo, but they found the buffalo all settled down. But haven't found the lions yet. So I think what we'll do is listen here for a little bit, enjoy the sun, and then maybe go lurk around on the peripheries. I don't know if you remember the buffalo we saw yesterday afternoon with the injury to its left rump. That one was trailing the herd, so you never know, the lions might have looped back round. Oh, that steam looks so cool, eh? Yeah, Neil, it is an absolute banger. They are so beautiful, and Darren's doing such a good job of making this scene, sort of bringing it to life for you all. Or we're going to be lucky enough and have the hippo pop its head up in the frame. It is very special, Cindy. I can hear hyena way off in the distance towards the sun, towards the east. You just see the hippo's nostrils there. Do you see them, Darren? Oh, shy. Oh, there we go. Hello. Oh, it is quite crisp this morning, so we are enjoying the sun on our faces. I'm sure it's going to get real warm real quick.
So we are just about to start making our way from here at Leopard Dam towards the north, whilst the sun rises beautifully above this weeping boar bean over here. The thing is that we can hear alarm calling happening, and we did see a hyena running away from the dam earlier after probably feeding on a carcass. Just waiting for a moment just to listen to see if we can still hear those alarms coming from that direction. It's not so much calling now. I believe it was probably alarming because of the hyena we saw running, but there's apparently also a leopard in the area earlier. Just gonna and there's the hyena track. Yeah, a nice fresh one, you can see. See those extended toes, the claw marks on the end, and the two pads at the back. This one was going away from the dam, probably after having fed on that carcass a little bit, using these game paths. Watch yourself there, Craig, some very sharp thorns on that tree. This pathway is well used by animals. And there's a lot of hyena tracks up and down here. Here at Pridelands we have a clan of at least 13 hyenas. It's very, very active around this waterhole. And so if more than one or two of them was there at the carcass last night, see here all the tracks in this little section. Just absolutely covered in hyena tracks up and down. If more than one or two of those were at that small buffalo carcass last night, it would have been finished in no time, especially if there was a leopard giving them a little bit of an urge to feed quicker. Anyway, we'll keep you updated and see what we come up with.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another spectacular morning out here. A bit on the chilly side, but we're excited because that might mean some of our favorite cats are out and about. My name is Ali, and on camera with me today is Morgan, who we also like to call the Lion Whisperer from now on. And Morgan is laughing now. Now, if you didn't watch the drive yesterday, Morgan apparently was the one that spotted the Talamati Pride in the morning by spotting a very big male lion with a mane, because we've discussed the details. But this lion has not been seen since, and it was not dark mane, so... Okay, Morgan says it's one of the skittish Kruger males. Sure. we are today driving around Galago. There were some nyala that were barking not too far from where we stay, and we just thought maybe Tlalamba was in the drainage somewhere around there, or I mean it could also be Molowati, but we really wanted to be Tlalamba. So Tlalamba's a female leopard we haven't seen around a lot. She does like hanging around this area, so I think we're just gonna do a loop and then just check back and forth. We haven't seen any tracks around here, and I know Junty's on the dam, but it might be quite nice if we can catch up with her, because in the 2 weeks that I've been here I've only seen one female leopard, which is a bit of a shocking thought. Very shocking. I've only seen Tandy, and then Junty had Shidulu the other day, but that's all we've seen. Alrighty. I wonder where she's going, because the other day she had a kill up here. Oh no, I lie. I did see Tlalamba. I've been lying, yeah. It was a brief sighting though. Okay, I've seen 2 leopards, 2 females. I mean, I'm not lying on purpose. I'm just lying out of wishful thinking. Like, come on, universe, send us Tlalamba. We're asking for it, pretty please. Greg, we have a very healthy leopard population up here at the moment. The northern Sabi Sand is perhaps one of the densest areas for leopards in the world. I think it can only compete with Ruaha National Park in Tanzania, and the density is roughly about the same, about 12 leopards per 100 square kilometers if I'm not mistaken. It's just that leopard populations are constantly shifting. Their territories are not set. They won't always stay in one area and, it starts in this road and finishes on this termite mound. They're constantly moving. Females will give a part of their territory to their daughters and then move off to the area a little bit. New males will come around, and other males will start pushing into a different area, which sometimes causes the females to then move a little bit within those territories. So it's an ever-evolving situation. We've got a couple of females to the west of us. Well, yeah, the west. I'm sorry, the sun is there. I don't know what happened. There was a glitch in my brain. And they've got tiny little cubs. Tiyani's got cubs. Shidulu's been seen mating. And then to the south of us, Sibuyi's got cubs and Kuchava's got cubs. Now, those are leopards that could potentially come into our traverse, but because of the little ones, they're not moving as far, or they're not pushing as far into this area as we can. And then Tandy's just being Tandy, missioning around and then going places, and it seems she has reverted to her old territory back on Chitwa, and that's pushed Kuchava a little bit further into Chita Plains. But overall, healthy leopard population. We just haven't seen them because they've been busy. They've been being leopards. So Tandy's still got Maribs, and she's still being seen with him on and off. I think after that puff at her bite, she was like, "You're not ready. I clearly need to teach you some more things for you to be on your own." And she's been hanging around the Torchwood area, and then Tlalamba's been around here, hopefully. We're gonna carry on looking for any leopards or any signs of big cats that we can see around this area, but while we do that, let's go and have a look at the prize that you can win at andBeyond Phinda.
Calling all WildEarth explorers, we have a new and frankly awesome travel prize for you to win. andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve encompasses an impressive 28,000 hectares of protected wildlife land in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. As you have seen on WildEarth, andBeyond Phinda showcases one of the continent's finest game viewing experiences and is well known for close-up sightings of the elegant yet elusive cheetah, as well as the rare black rhino. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 16th of September, and you and a friend could be heading to the magnificent Phinda Mountain Lodge, where you will spend 3 nights escaping the real world at this ultimate safari location. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
Good morning, everybody, and a warm welcome to andBeyond's Phinda Private Game Reserve. I'm not sure if you saw that little clip playing now, but what an amazing prize you could win to join one of us here at Phinda. We've come out to one of the watering holes this morning where there was a couple of lions earlier on, tracks of them seem to be going in the opposite direction, so we might head in that general vicinity a little bit later. My name is Matt, and behind the camera we've got Odie this morning. And yeah, just a very crisp morning out. That wind that we had yesterday has disappeared, which is fantastic. A couple of waterbuck around the watering hole. We've got a grey heron who looks like he's looking for a meal this morning, perhaps a frog or the likes in this watering hole, illuminated by this lovely little bit of morning light as well, with the sun coming up behind us. Beautiful with its reflection too, and you can see the water this morning a lot more calm than it was yesterday afternoon. It was almost like the ocean. It was so windy then. Above it, a couple of waterbuck. Susia commenting about the beautiful morning scene. Absolutely, it really is a fantastic scene. And in the distance, if we pan off to the other herd of other herd of waterbuck, you can see them walking in that really tall grass, somewhat hidden as they walk across there, away from the water. And you can imagine with the pride of lions, if they were walking through here, how well hidden they would be, and really good cover for them to use to hunt. But yeah, as I said, the tracks of those lions have walked in the opposite direction, so we'll head in that, actually towards our floodplain. And wouldn't that be a spectacular scene to see a pride of lions out in the middle of the floodplain? That grey heron should make an appearance now in your picture as it flies across us. And a yellow-billed stork off in the distance there flies the heron. And the yellow-billed stork also looking for a meal this morning. See, maybe that heron's looking for a new spot to go fishing or frogging. Oh, maybe working in unison, those two, to flush things towards one another. Sandeli commenting on how you enjoy birding. As to we really spoiled here on Phinda with our birds. Over 415 species of birds recorded here on Phinda, and there are actually two guys who you might be introduced to in the next couple of weeks up in the north, Chris and Don, Don actually found a spotted ground thrush on a walk that he did with guests, which is a new bird species for us. We always wondered where they were, hidden in the sand forest, but Don managed to find one on one of his walks, which is amazing news to know that they're there. And then Chris went and got a picture of one, which is super exciting for you avid twitchers. You never know, maybe one of them get lucky with a spotted ground thrush in the upcoming weeks. Also good just to, while we're here, listen out for maybe alarm calls if those lions are still moving through the area of things like monkeys or nyala in the thicker vegetation. But really quiet, just a lot of birds chirping, which is always good. Yesterday afternoon, really quiet in terms of bird calls. Because it was so windy, it takes them quite a bit of energy to get very vocal, so they'd rather just hunker down and store that energy. But yeah, everyone's just announcing that they've made it through the night and are slowly but surely getting more active. Heard purple-crested taraka, heard gorgeous bushrat calling earlier, a call that you often associate with a watering hole of an Egyptian goose. And what's also really nice around the watering holes is that we're starting to get a lot of our weavers again, lesser mast weavers, some areas the social weavers, as they're busy constructing their nests. There are 3 white-faced whistling ducks, also really beautiful with their reflection this morning. Just off to their right look like black-winged stilts. Not sure if you can hear that, but that very harsh call of the purple-crested taraka, if you manage to see one, got that beautiful red underwing, formerly known as luries. And just in the time that we've been sitting here, we would most certainly have had hippos popping up, but I don't think there are any here. Megan, I couldn't agree with you more. All the birds being a sign of a healthy ecosystem. Most certainly, we saw those pelicans yesterday. We've had flamingos on Phinda, which is also a phenomenal bird to see. Really pretty birds. You can hear the call of the blacksmith lapwing now. Off to our left, one that you often find on a golf course if it's sitting on a nest. For all of you golfers at home, probably one that you've been attacked by previously on a golf course too, as they defend their nests and their eggs. There's that yellow-billed stork scouring the water for a meal, and I'm sure there are plenty of frogs and fish and the likes in there for it. Very interesting technique of catching its food. You see there with its bill open, just prying to see if there's anything underneath of interest. Saw signs of, or at least tracks of, one or two elephant bulls in the vicinity as well. So, good to listen out for them if we hear the breaking of branches. I think myself and Odie might just carry on from here. But we've just heard a leopard. I don't know if you might have just caught the end of that, a leopard rasping behind us. So we're going to see if we can't find that this morning. That's super exciting.
My name is Nomfundo Ndlovu and I'm the Senior Project Manager for the WISA Schools and Youth Unit. I'm a qualified horticulturalist. I'm particularly passionate about supporting schools towards working through their sustainability journey and towards food sovereignty throughout food gardening projects. A typical day in my work involves me overseeing our national projects and creating an enabling environment for schools to thrive and succeed in working towards self-reliance and sustainability, and really ensuring that no school gets left behind.
Being nominated to the top 5 and finally being here, for me it's an achievement. Tracks, I believe I did quite well, and the walk, and sometimes you often drag their feet forward. The storytelling as well, so yeah, I think that's where I see my strongest point. And then that was the opportunity of the scraping. I say the bedding and the call, definitely for me it was quite a big challenge. Guiding is not all about the award that we have had, but in sharing the experience and continue to do what we have passion and love.
Something very, very interesting. I didn't plan this, but this is a scene rarely seen. This is what we call a journey of giraffe. So beautiful.
Tune into WildEarth every single day. It's in your nature.
Well, we're going to leave this one up there. Surprised it doesn't have a period. Maybe it's still looking for dating options. And we're just going to carry on looking for Tlalamba. Hopefully we'll come across any signs of a leopard. As I was saying earlier this morning, the Nyala were alarming just outside of our rooms. And there's a drainage line right in front there, and we know that a lot of leopards like going in there and moving in there because drainage lines are a great place to hide. I thought maybe she'd come up all this area, but haven't been able to find any tracks, so I think we're just gonna circle back down there, see if maybe my binoculars are falling. See if we can find anything down there. Hopefully we will. We'd like to see her again at some stage, maybe with tiny little bundles of fluff. That would be so endearing, so cute. But I think she's probably not long until she gives birth, judging by what Tristan said when he last saw her. He said that she was looking quite pregnant, and if she were to be found at this stage with cubs, the cubs would still be too small. So likely what would happen is the area would be zoned, and then we wouldn't really go there and view her until the cubs are a little bit older, just to allow her for some privacy and just protection. It seems like Junty is up to something this morning, so let's head over to him and find out who he's with.
Thank you, Ali. We were very lucky. They got here ahead of us, but this is the area we wanted to come and check to see if we'd get lucky, but someone got to the lions before us, but that's fine. That's why these radios help us so much. So I'm just trying to count. Yesterday morning we saw 9 in this pride. This morning I can only see 8. And when I gave that first update where the guys were looking around the buffalo, they said they found one buffalo with lots of scratches on it that had looked like it had survived a altercation with some lions. So I wonder if they had if they tried, were unsuccessful, and now are just resting up. I'm actually going to go forward a little bit, and I think you'll get a better view of this one here. Let's see if we can do it quietly. Oh, look at that one out there. How cool though. This is the same fire break that they were on yesterday morning. Sorry everybody, I believe the screen went slightly pixelated there. But yeah, amazing that these lions ended up on the same fire break they were on yesterday. And somehow they missed that old injured buffalo that we saw trailing the herd. Is that the old girl? Keep it on that one. Oh no, it's not. Look, they're just adhering to the new protocols, the new norms and standards of our lives. That is quite funny. I can hear the buffalo from where I am.
Yeah, I think try to drive and join the road short ones. You will book at the nyati that is tried by the Ngala, but you still surviving serious injury. Okay, confirm this answer. still alive, but he's got maningi ngati all over the body. No,
So I'm just listening to the radio. The guys are saying there's a buffalo that's really seriously injured. But I can't understand if these lions are the ones that inflicted that, why they wouldn't be there. It's by itself. It's quite interesting. So in some of these lions, even yesterday, they had slight bits of blood you could see on their chests and that. But none of them look like they've got anything more than they had on yesterday. You can see how they're lifting their heads. That direction those lions are looking, that's where the buffaloes are bellowing. I'm just going to speak on the radio quickly. A mic coming for Jonty.
Jonty, please go ahead.
Mike, is that audio coming from that injured buffalo you with, or is that just from the herd?
Sorry, Jonty, come again?
Are you currently with that injured buffalo?
Yeah, this Nyati with the holding Sabi.
Okay, copied. These lions are looking that way. I can hear the herd from where I am. But they're all just still lying down.
I'm concerned still on the fire break.
Correct.
You are the only station. Can I please come and join you?
Yes, please. You can make your way. I'm the only station here.
I think now he's coming to join the north of
Yeah, I'm really trying to piece it together. Why there would be... Normally with lions, if they've got a buffalo to the point that it's really struggling, they'll kind of just stay on it or stay close by. But in saying that, they can obviously hear the buffalo. So they know where they are, but... It's interesting. Oh, look at the light on that one's face. I can also hear hyenas calling from behind us. It was actually hyenas that I could hear earlier that was in this direction that made me want to come and drive here.
Welcome back to Phinda, everybody. We've just found an African goshawk. Looks like a juvenile. It's got quite a bit of mottling on its throat, and you can see a little bit of a yellow ring around its eye. But I'm just going to keep quite quiet because if we move, it's probably going to fly away. I've got the book open to show you a bit of illustration of it, but I can show you that just now. Just as it sits, we'll sit and watch it and appreciate it. Quite a nice bird to see perched. Dark in color, a little bit of white on its back, really, really sharp bill. they'll eat or try and catch small birds, reptiles, and sometimes even insects. And deadly quiet as they fly. They do some seriously low-level flying and into thick vegetation. We just saw it fly across the road and then stopped and saw it hadn't flown too far away. So nice to actually see it where it is. And that's somewhat hidden in amongst that greenery of that magic quarry. Have a look at that now to try and spot that in that driving past would take a really keen eye. But for all of you couch twitchers at home, a really, really nice bird to see. Often see them flying really, really high. They've got almost sounds like an electric fence that's touching something, that constant clicking as a call when you hear them. And the fact that it stayed here for as long as it has for us is also a miracle in itself. Really, really special, that.
We are still here with the lions. Oh, a big yawn coming. Oh.
Yeah, fishing for Ghana. I like to check my name home. I don't know. I just want to go and join the sighting there and present them reporting.
Copied. So there's a vehicle driving past on the road, like one of the... Oh, actually, look at this line on its right shoulder. That does look like slightly fresher little nick in her shoulder. This one on our right here. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't remember seeing... You see, it's hard to tell, but on the... I don't know if my finger will... Over there. There's like a... see a fresh little nick there. Oh, the sun in her eyes is unbelievable. Oh.
Welcome back to Phinda, everyone. We're not too far from quite a popular lookout point, so I think we'll stop there. We'll stop there. We can find not direct those tracks of those lions we're heading towards, and you'll see in a short while what I'm referring to. Possibility of something like a rhino before that wind picks up and they disappear into thicker vegetation. But have a look at this view. Oh gosh. See a wildebeest off in the distance. There's some impala. Quite a few zebra again. And there's a really big flock of pelicans off in the distance. A couple of them taking flight. And just from up here, judging by their behavior, they're sort of up and then flying towards the front of where the rest of them are heading. Probably doing some fishing, looking for things like barbel or the likes in this river, which only now for the first time in my time on Phinda has this river been as full as it is. Michelle, I couldn't agree with you more. Phinda really is stunning. And this is one of the views that us guides here at andBeyond, or at least in the South African lodges, all do our training. The training camp is a little bit further off to our right. So this morning is what we have for the first 6 weeks of our training, which is amazing. We are super spoiled with this. And the views here are exactly that. They're stunning. Every so often, when we're lucky enough, things like lions and cheetah will walk through these open areas. Later on in the year, or the beginning of next year, when we get our rains, we might start seeing elephants crossing the floodplain. And then every so often we strike gold with something like a black rhino out in these areas. Really beautiful views. We might venture a little bit closer to those pelicans to catch up with them, but we're going to head off to Mike.
Hi everyone, we are still just moving south to try and see if we can find the hyenas, but we passed by this really beautiful example of a dead leadwood, and you can just see the stripes and the variations and the patterns in this tree's hard wood. I was just actually making a comment as to whether this small branch here would hold my weight if I stepped on it. Normally I would say yes, it could. A leadwood is an extremely tough wood, but this is an extremely old leadwood stump. And this branch has got quite a lot of flex on it, so I don't think it's really going to work for that particular thing. But, I mean, you can see there's holes all over this tree. If you look up there, there's a big hole where there used to be a branch, probably, and it's rotted from the inside. But the only thing that's going to damage this tree is fungus and rot. It doesn't get chewed by insects. It doesn't get pushed down, or very rarely does it get pushed down by elephants. This is an extremely old one that's broken down over years and years and years. Maybe over 100 years, maybe 200, maybe 1,000. I don't know how old they can get. But it's actually been colonized at the moment by huge amounts of lichen. Being such a stable platform, lichen takes a long time to grow, and so when you see lichen like this on it, it's been there for quite some time. This wood is actually, they say, although I've never weighed it myself, but for 1 cubic meter, I don't know how much a cubic meter would be, but for 1 cubic meter of this hard wood, it weighs about 1,280 kilograms, something like that, which is far heavier than 1 cubic meter of water. So it sinks like a stone if you throw it into water. It's really not something you'd want to use as a life raft, that's for sure. But it is providing life for many creatures, because in all these holes in these trees, there can be things like scorpions, snakes, birds, squirrels, rodents, insects. I've even seen tortoises using the holes beneath their trunks to hide during the winter when they're trying to stay warm and conserve as much moisture as possible. But nonetheless, whatever this tree is used for, it's still just my favorite tree. That's how you should remember it. I'll do a quiz at some point and I'll ask what tree this is, and I want everyone to say Mike's favorite tree, because it really is such a spectacular one. And it's so abstract. It looks like water flowing over something, the way these patterns all move. I really want to look closer at these holes because I can see leaves and things inside this particular hole. I suspect there's a rodent that's made a den or a nest or a home inside there. But I don't want to put my face too close because it can also potentially be a home for a snake. And a black mamba encounter this early in the morning would not be my favorite. Hey, but this could be a clue as to what's living in here. Just over here, there is the leftover seed from a raisin bush, which would be something that rodents would like to collect and feed on. And then just next to it, a few rodent droppings. So almost certainly in there is living some sort of mouse or rat or gerbil, probably a bushveld gerbil or something. There you go. A little bit of a mystery. Marty, it's not easy at all for elephants to strip the bark of this tree. I've seen them try many times. This particular leadwood has no bark at all. Reminds me of a joke, but I'll tell that later, once you've all woken up a bit more. Marty, leadwoods have very, very thin cambium layers and very tough bark. And so it's not sought after by elephants because they don't get much nutrients from it. And when they try and peel it off, have you ever tried to peel an orange? You know, you get the oranges with the really thick, knobbly skin, and then you get oranges with the very thin skin, and the ones with the thin skin are very difficult to peel. It's just like that. So this leadwood trees are not very sought after by elephants. If we walk along, we'll try and show you the difference between the bark of something like a marula, which is often attacked by elephants, and the bark of a leadwood, and you'll get to see how different it really is. Marty, it's really different. And that's why they grow so slowly, because they don't have a thick layer of cambium that's transporting nutrients. Just a very thin amount. So we're going to leave this beautiful tree. I'm sure this will be here for probably longer than I'm alive. This tree will still remain here. So we'll leave it here, continuing on its vigil in the bush. We'll keep heading north, and we'll send you over to Matt in the meantime, who I think is at a waterhole.
Everybody, we've managed to catch up with this. And you'll see they fly ahead of the ones in the front to try and stop and catch, but there's almost with them as well. There's African spoonballs who you see will swing their heads from side to side looking for things maybe that the pelicans will flush. There's little egrets, great egrets, yellow-billed storks. And all those of you want back. Those of you back.
The whole time. That's funny. So we were at these lines. Sorry, I thought we've been live for the last 5 minutes. So the lions are, they're moving up the road here. Look at that cool shot. Yeah. Look at that. That is epic. So the direction they're heading, that's where we heard those impalas alarming. And you'll see the lions, obviously much easier for them to walk on the road, much quieter. And you'll see they'll walk, stop, listen. But they're going away from the buffalo. Let's go with them. Seven. So I can only see 7 now. It's interesting. Very interesting. Good shot.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, obviously these chickens, just I think in the excitement of it all for these are all great white pelicans. Yeah, sounds like JFK with them taking off, a couple of them taking off back behind us. But they all, I wonder if we'd be able to see one if it had a fish in its bill, if they are successful there up ahead. But everyone's just getting involved here. I think they're probably taking out all the fish stocks of this little river here on Phinda. It's like chaos. Have a look at that wingspan, Lisa. This is truly spectacular. Unbelievable scenes, and I'm just waiting for one to lift its head back up, and you'll see in that pouch underneath that bull maybe one of them gets successful with the fish. But even one of those egrets at the back there looked like it caught a frog or the likes not, but with so much activity they're bound to flush something for one another. Interesting to see the tactics. Pelicans have quite an aggressive way of trying to catch and herd everything, and then the others, yellow-billed storks and the spoonballs, are a little bit more patient in the way they go about their business, waiting in the background, or in the foreground, should I say. Nice to just sit and appreciate this as well, because that's not something that we see very often at all. And they're going to start disappearing out of picture as well now for us, unfortunately. So we'll have to see what some of the other birds get up to this morning. Wildebeest watching on. Just seen some warthog in the distance, but no signs of those lions, and they would have had to have crossed this river if they were to come into this area. But no such luck with them yet this morning. But have a look at that. It's absolute chaos out here with these birds. There's just so much going on, I actually don't know where to look. Listen to that. And that's just them trying to creep ahead of one another to get into the best position or spot to catch a meal. Absolute chaos, and such a special little sighting this morning here on Phinda. I think we might head back before it gets too hot this morning, back into that area where tracks of those lions were last seen, to see if we can't find them this morning.
Hi, we are Yaku and Milani. We are from Gauteng in South Africa. We started watching WildEarth last year during the level 5 lockdown, and we've been watching ever since.
Being in nature is one of the greatest feelings. We absolutely love it. Our favorite thing about WildEarth is that the concept is so amazing. We have the benefit of having a wildlife safari in the comfort of your home, especially when you're not allowed to go out. Being part of the Wildlife Explorer program gives us a sense of giving back and contributing to nature. It just makes us feel good because we love it so much. We are so excited to be visiting Ngoma. It is obviously, I think for most people, an absolute dream to visit the Masai Mara. We can't wait to go.
Thank you very much for this amazing prize, WildEarth.
WildEarth Explorers. It's in your nature.
We got there, he had probably moved a couple of 100 meters down the river and was about 10 meters from this causeway. So I radioed the lodge quickly and just asked them to bring a land cruiser around and some tow straps. So we thought we were going to try be heroes and save this giraffe. And now a big bull, probably over a ton, he's a big unit. I got the tow strap one side of the giraffe and managed to get it around him with the boat, and the other edge of the tow strap obviously back onto the bank. So we made this U around him because he was lying quite close to the bank. And we put that land cruiser in low range and we just gave it hell and pulled that giraffe, and the tow strap slipped up and we thought, oh no, it's going to slip off the top of the head, and it caught on his ossicones at the top. And that last 10 meters pulled him out onto the bank, and he battled. He was obviously quite weak and all that.
This is a battle of two great carnivores of the African wilderness. Whew. Whoa! You don't want to be under those jaws. Definitely, this round goes to the lion. Look at that. Fantastic.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth.
Welcome back, everybody. This was just too good to leave. They are really, really far away from us, so Eddie's done a phenomenal job to track these pelicans as they move about this morning, but really, really busy as they go about looking for their next meal. As they fly towards us, do some low-level flying back towards us, maybe just corralling the fish now back towards us, but I think they've depleted most of the fish stocks in this little river here on our left-hand side this morning. So we're just spending a little bit of time. We saw a couple of warthog off to our left-hand side as well, a little bit earlier on, wildebeest in the background, some zebra as well. White-breasted cormorants that I'm sure some of the guys have filmed in previous shows at one of the watering holes where they nest. But I'm just waiting for another one of those eruptions from these pelicans, and they seem to be doubling back now, back towards us. And when they all take off like that, they make quite a racket. Also just sitting here patiently in the hopes that something like a cheetah would pop up for us out in these open plains. Debbie, you're asking where these pelicans will nest. Kuzi and Djuma Game Reserve is another one. Places like Durban in the Botanical Gardens, and even as high up as the Okavango Chobe system is where you'll find them nesting. Or at least colonies of them nesting. It's not so much a breeding ground for them, but more of a hunting ground this morning. They've even got the attention of some of the wildebeest that you see in the background. This actually looks like a scene out of the Okavango Delta this morning with all of this activity, that little bit of mist in the background, wildebeest, zebra, and the likes. And I think we counted at least 7 or 8 different birds in the mix there, all trying to catch a meal this morning. does actually look like they're making their way back towards us now as well. So definitely worth sitting and waiting. 450, saying you're loving these birds. Us too. It's not something that we see very often out here on a floodplain. But if you remember from yesterday's show, there were those two that Odie managed to catch in flight that landed in the corner of the floodplain. And two has become what looks like 20, 30, maybe even 40 of these birds now this morning, all making the most of these cooler conditions, trying to catch something. Amazing how they all work together like that as well to make the most of what they've got. And hopefully each and every one of them gets a meal this morning. Because this entire wetland that you see that Odie's filming was underwater at the beginning of the year. Where those wildebeest were standing, it was maybe knee deep for us in water, and honestly one of the most spectacular things to have witnessed. Very lucky to have seen it at the beginning of the year, or just to have been here on Phinda at the time. But to see that, I'm sure you would have been able to take a kayak all the way from here around from the Munyawana around to the Mzanane River, and then paddled up from there. If paddling something that tickles your fancy. Amazing just to watch them. Every so often you see one of those bulls or the heads swing back, and that I'm sure is a guaranteed sign of a successful catch. There now is a couple of waterbuck in the distance again. Big bull, as you see there, walking in the distance towards this light. They've actually created quite a stir, these pelicans, this morning. And then another one hovering just up above your picture now that you might see is a pied kingfisher. Ooh, excuse me. Is a pied kingfisher. There we go. Odie, have a look at how still it holds its head and hovers, looking for its next potential meal. Beautiful little birds, those. But I'm afraid it's going into waters that have probably been fished out by those pelicans this morning. Back to the business end of things with these pelicans. It looks like they've split up now, divide and conquer tactics to try and catch a meal. But yeah, creating quite a stir. Even the waterbuck are keen to come and have a look at what's going on. Pauline asking if Phinda's always been known to have been a wetland area. Sure, I guess not. Phinda only started in 1991, and this being one of the floodplains, I can imagine very seasonal as it fills up. I've never seen this river this full in my time here on Phinda, plus you now, just over 4 years. So this with really good rains will fill up, and then there's in the very far northern parts of the reserve, which you might see with the guys in the next few weeks, the Oldham Kuzi floodplain, which too fills up with really good rain. I think it was in 2018, that February, we had about 250 mils of rain in 5 days. That filled that area up completely, and we started seeing Colin Prattencolds, greater painted snipes, even saddlebill storks up there. So, since it starts, and with good rains, you would say it would be known for its wetland areas. We're not too far from False Bay. This eventually flows into False Bay and then Lake St. Lucia. So yeah, these birds may be just flying up and down that river system from there, and have found themselves a good spot to find a meal this morning. But now you can see for the most part, it's just the low-lying areas that have water in them now. The rest is all pretty dried. which means that the grasses would have been somewhat more nutritious than other areas because they were completely undercovered with water. That all of these plains animals are making the most of: wildebeest, the zebra, waterbuck, and the likes. Every so often we find things like giraffe out here. Not too often because there's not much out here for them to eat, but also amazing views when they come out into these open areas, as well as the elephants. Like I said yesterday, when it rains, those elephants tend to head down south. They're all at the moment in the northern parts of the reserve because a lot of the green monkey orange trees are fruiting, so they're all up there making the most of that. And then when we get our rain, because it's a lot more hilly down in the south of the reserve, and with the minerals in the mountains, the grasses here is a little bit sweeter for the elephants, so they tend to make their way down here when it starts raining for that purpose, or reason should I say, and then they head far and wide from there when we do have our rains. What's Odie found now? We're going to have to look through the binoculars. A couple of kingfishers. Two of them busy hovering up above the pelicans. Not a bad spot for them to be, but a miscalculated dive down could end up in a miscatch, or maybe catching something a little bit bigger than it's hoping for. Sherry, you commenting on how beautiful it is to see everything in one place. It really is beautiful because you can often go for hours and hours on drive and not see anything, but just you stop, park off and wait and watch things come and go can be super rewarding. Much like this morning. Interesting change in wind this morning as well. Yesterday afternoon it was straight into us. Now this morning we've got it on our backs, which is quite nice, and you won't have that interference from the wind on your side of the screen either. I think now is the time that we will leave these pelicans be. We're going to head off towards where tracks of those lions were last seen to see if we can't find them for you this morning.
There's loads of helicopter pods around here, or the seeds anyway. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is actually a good place to have a sundowner if it wasn't so filled with like branches and things. Good sunset from here, I reckon. You can even see green tanks from here. No, that's Johnny. I'm going to message him and say we comms is poor. Can you hear them? Oh, okay. Hi everyone. A high point here because we are trying to get an overview of what's happening here. So we're having a bit of comms issues, so apologies for that. Trying to see if we can see any movement. We're actually looking for elephants from up here. We haven't seen an elephant yet in the last few days. So far, no luck. No movement of the hyena either, or a leopard. I did just hear some guinea fowl alarming, but it was just one quick alarm call and then gone, so it might have been a bird flying over. Found something else interesting up here. And what I did find were these really cool seed pods. And these are having a very wonderful technique for spreading themselves. So I'm going to just drop it, it might start spinning. It's like a helicopter. Absolutely making a mockery of me. Okay, let's try again. There you go. I'm not doing it as good as they could. I don't know how it's turning out on the screen, but they really have a wonderful technique of spinning.
Well, no luck around Gallagher Pan with our imaginary Tlalamba. I'm pretty sure that there was something there, but we just couldn't see it. And that drainage line, as some of you may know, is really hard to maneuver around, although we did manage for a bit. You need to shush. So nothing there. So we've carried on coming on Central, hoping perhaps for any signs of dark main, but fortunately there's been a few people driving around those roads, so hard to tell if he's been there. And everybody seems to be on the sort of northern boundary of Djuma, because that's where the action is happening this morning. So I think we're going to take the opportunity and then just carry on driving straight on Central Road, pass on to Torchwood, go check the dam, perhaps see if Marips and Tandy have decided to go in there. That would be nice if they did. And then hopefully we'll be able to find something else, because it seems like around here not too much is happening. Perhaps the onset of so many lions and some of them roaring just scared everyone else away, so everyone's just gone poof into different directions. But if there's nothing on Torchwood, then I think what we might try to do is then just go take a swing and then explore the southern part of Djuma. Not many people have gone down there, or any people have gone down there, so maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see what's in there. Hopefully something. There's something that is banging at the bottom of this car, and it worries me that we have a loose part somewhere. Maybe it's a branch somewhere. It could also be. Sometimes where you go off-roading, you pick up things. Because it's not the tire, is it? I wonder what it is. We'll find out. Yes, that's... Ah, it's the tire. Okay, cool. Sure. It's a spare tire that is hanging funny. Nothing to worry about then. Just need to find another not to be able to bolt it properly, because we're down to 2. What is... Ooh. Buttery popcorn. But no tracks on the road. Jennets also smell very similar, so when we say buttery popcorn, we're in the leopard scent mark. It smells like buttery popcorn. It's got the same enzyme, I think, as in butter, if I'm not mistaken, so it's got a very similar smell. But Jennets also produce a very similar smell, so the fact that there are no tracks here lead us to think that perhaps it's a Jennet. We're gonna carry on onwards to Torchwood. But while we do that, we'll send you guys across to Jonty, who's still enjoying the company of the lions.
Come on, man. So we are sticking with these lions. They tried to stalk a herd of impala, but the impala saw them. But now they've kind of done a loop around, and they are very interested in something. I don't know if they can hear it or see it. We've looped onto the far side of a drainage line. We don't want to disturb what they're up to. But it's amazing watching them move through these thickets. You can see they are focused on something. But I'm still completely perplexed as to why they have left that buffalo. I don't understand that at all. %, Freddie. We can hear that. Like a bearded woodpecker. It actually, just before we went live, it flew past the front of the screen. So this is where we need super patience now. These lines are definitely up to something.
Have you got visual?
Mm-mm. Raphael, it is an interesting sort of question, because we do often see, like, if they see an injured or certain types of illness.
What's your mic?
Like, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Like, they'll obviously target that. But I have seen places where an animal's died. There was one where a giraffe died, and the vet said they thought it was botulism, and nothing ate it. Lions came, smelt it. Hyenas came, smelt it. And even a leopard came. Some jackals came and fed a tiny little bit, but nothing. Oh, there they're moving. It's hard. Nothing ate that giraffe. So I think sometimes they will smell if there's a bit of a problem. And I have seen a lion catch a very, very sick, I don't know what was wrong with it, but an impala that did not look good at all. It killed it, smelt it, and then just left it alone and didn't touch it.
Yeah, Mike, you have to way a little bit west towards the Shingo again, but they're still on the western side.
We're going to try and loop around and get a better view. You're going to head over to Ali. She's investigating a crime scene.
Well, we're trying. It was actually Morgan that spotted the crime scene over here on top of the termite mound. And it seems like a bird got murdered. Or, well, we say murdered, but actually just got eaten by something else. Let's have a look here. Can't really see any tracks in this area, but just judging by the feathers, let me just grab a feather. And by these feathers, you see they're quite pretty in black and white. I'm going to assume that these are the feathers of a hornbill. So I suspect it was actually a hornbill that was killed somewhere around this area. Lots of down feathers, and as you can see, a lot of stuff happening here. But we can't really see any tracks, so that's why I'm going to say perhaps it wasn't a land predator. It could have been one of the eagles. The hawk eagles that nest are actually not too far from here. We have a pair that tends to nest every year in Djuma in the same spot. So it could have been one of them. Could have been a Wildearth, could have been a tawny, maybe, or also could have been an owl, early hours of the morning, just coming down on the hornbill and then just devouring it. Can't really see any traces of anything else, so that's why I think perhaps it was a bird and then it carried off with its kill wherever it is that it went off to. Can't really see it from here. If it was an eagle, maybe it would have put it up a tree and it would have finished the kill up there. Same with an owl, but as I glance all around us, I can't really see anything, so I'm going to leave these feathers here. We want the nutrients and whatever minerals are in the feathers to return to the soil and to the termite mound. But yeah, interesting. What would you say got it, Morgan? The lion. That male lion. Had a feeling you would say that. Let me just... Definitely that same male. Okay. He flew in, yeah. The same way he flew out when you saw him yesterday. No, I think it was a creature with feathers that killed another creature with feathers. Probably an eagle or an owl, I would suggest, that got this hornbill. It's a lot of the times when they come and then they just catch them when they come down and hit them, and they pluck some of the feathers, carry them and take them away. I can't see any other body parts around the termite mound, so that's why I don't suspect that it was a smaller predator like a genet or a caracal or a serval or any of those smaller cats that we have in this area. I just think it was something that came from above and potentially surprised the hornbill as it was starting its day on the termite mound looking for food. Sad day for some, happy days for others. It's always a balance in nature. I wonder. I have expectations for Torchwood. I hope we'll have things there. Hopefully. At the dam. We're waiting for greatness, Morgan and I. Maybe Tlalamba will be there. I mean, she is a missioner of a cat. What are these tracks? Of course, there are all the lion tracks here. I wonder if this is where they came from yesterday, but all the tracks are going in that direction. So I'm not gonna bother following these tracks because we know that Jonty's got a pride of lions all the way down there, and I'm not sure where the lions came from yesterday when they were found, because you guys spotted them. Do you guys know where did they come from, Manileti? Do you know where they came from? You just found them. I suspect it's the same ones, because not many people have been driving around here, so I suspect it's the same pride of lions, that it has just gone all the way there. And if not, then we'll just take a swing, but seems like some of the tracks are from earlier on. All the roads lead to Djuma today. Crossing into Torchwood. Let's see. Morgan, are we still live? I haven't heard anything, that's why I'm asking in my ear. Oh, we are. Okay, sorry. We just didn't hear anything in our heads for a while, and then we got worried that the radio was acting up again. It's been a couple of those days where the gremlins attack and we're not really sure what's going on. It's the thing about gremlins, they attack when you least expect them to. But anyway, we are on our way to Torchwood Dam, and then I think we're gonna check around First Rock and somewhere around. Fingers crossed we'll be able to pick up any signs of any of our leopards.
The scrap here collected a dry grass, put it next to the water hole as the hippo walks down during the warm of the day to drink the water. When the hippo arrives, he saw quite a very nice grass, an area not to resist to rest. And when the hippo went down to drink the water, and when finished the water, he just lied down on the grass. And then, that was the opportunity of the scrappy. You know what? Today is my day to pay the revenge.
Looks like it's a very difficult climb because every time it tries to climb, the ground is breaking, so it slides down. But it's the only one. Look at that. That is the call of desperation with the cub. It's like, what are you doing, mommy? Oops! Oof!
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
So we've managed to loop around. These lions are still quite interested. You look at that one doing a bit of a phlegm and grimace. They came to this spot where these two are, and all of them have had a good old sniff on the ground there. So I don't know, either there was another lion, or maybe one of the males, or a different predator, something that was lying there that they've sort of picked up that scent, because they walked in here from the main road. They've just kind of steadily been walking here, and now they are sort of lying down around us. But it's so frustrating. I'd love to be able to ask them, like, what happened, why are they not. That buffalo seems like such a good target at the moment, considering it sounds like it's really badly injured. That's really bizarre. One of these questions that will remain unanswered. Or maybe they didn't eat the buffalo because they prefer eating grass. I was saying to Darren that it is frightening. While we were sitting here, they almost like stalked into this position. And when you see how quietly they can move, they are like assassins. It's kind of, when you watch them moving like that, it definitely sparks off a bit of a memory to early man living out here, when we would have been hiding from these beasts.
Otherwise they can check the more side, because you're walking through towards the Martin now. No Yama, no busy, nothing there. Now you approaching the left.
What's the interest in the tree?
Are they sniffing the base of that tree there? See, they're doing a bit of phlegm and grimacing, smelling what's on the ground there. So they're processing that scent through their Jacobson's organ.
North of the dam or somewhere they should do, because they approach the mountains too. Okay,
They're all sort of like reconvening here. They spread out a bit. It's starting to get warm in the old sun here. But so cool to be able to follow these lions as they move around like this, and trying to figure out what it is that they're actually up to. That's so funny. They're going in here. You'd think they should have popped out already. They must be sniffing something there. I'm just going to wait a bit. I'm sure they're going to pop out of the side of this little thicket. One's gone through already. So they're going towards the side where we were. But the way they're walking and looking, It's almost as if they're expecting something to pop out of the bushes where they are. This is so interesting. Let me go forward a little bit.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to andBeyond in Ngala. So the plan for this beautiful morning, as you can see, it's nice and sunny. We're gonna head to an area in our east where we had some lions last night that were on a kill. So it'll be quite nice to sort of keep up with them and see what they are doing. Once more, my name is Trico, and behind the camera I have Johan with me doing a fantastic job. So we're gonna cross the riverbed for now, and then see what we find in the riverbed. I mean, it hasn't been that hot though. I mean, it's just starting to get warm, so if it was super hot, I would say, you know, those areas will attract like your elephants that might come down for a drink, but it's still much cooler. But it's worth to have a look as we drive past there. So we're gonna have a nice look and then cross and slowly head south, and then we're gonna cut east, hopefully making our way to where we had those lions last night. So for those who didn't join us yesterday, or on our sunset drive, we had about 5 sub-adult male lions and 2 females on a blue wildebeest kill, which was quite a sight to see. But to be honest, you know, with those numbers of lions in that carcass, I don't think there will be any left at this time, because the kill that we had yesterday was like around 6, somewhere there. So I'm pretty sure they finish it off. But then those areas might attract things like hyenas, might get attracted to that area. Alright, we're gonna just loop around, take this road here. There's a pen here. Maybe go have a look there and see if we might find anything interesting there. I'm not too sure how is the water levels there. I mean, this is that time of the season where most of our water holes start to dry out. So let's have a look and see if we still do have water here. Right, we're almost here, a few seconds. And it looks like it's dry though. You can see how dry it is. But also if you look, you'll see a lot of disturbance on it, right? Which shows you tracks of different animals that, used to visit here. But yeah, no water at all. But also I can't wait for summertime, as soon as there's that bit of rain, this area just becomes transformed, there's literally water everywhere. I think from here, let's move. Let's head more south and slowly heading back or heading to those lions that we promised to search for you guys.
For an ad pod now. Okay, so I'm just looped. Whoa! Okay, there they are. Jeepers! We came around the corner. This is who we were looking for. It's okay, lions. Some lions lying in the shade here. They've been sniffing around. I was just looping around to see what they were doing, and now they've been active for probably the last hour. Now potentially they might sort of rest up a little bit. Oh, you just come right next to us to go to the toilet. We're going to go live now. Okay, so we've just looped around to the other side of the drainage line where the lions were going, and they seem to have settled down a little bit. Something did just catch their attention. Some of their heads swung back, looking to the west. I can hear oxpeckers. It's amazing after being so focused and so attentive. I suppose, how long have we been following? Like maybe an hour. Oh, shame. This one close to us just did a bit of a vomit. She has been eating grass as she's been moving. So often, like our domestic pets, if they've got upset stomach, they will eat grass. Oh, just vomited again. So typically they'll be referred to as sub-adults until they, are at a breeding age. So normally lions will sort of have they might start their first litter at around 4.5 or 5. They might not be so successful then. Oh, what was that? Oh, something's got their attention here. And what's so weird, we've literally just been driving around here. It sounded like a bit of a snort of something. Amazing, hey? Straight away they're all up and on it. You can see how the first trigger was obviously audio. They turned their heads that way. Now they're listening again for another sort of sound, but they want their eyes. Their eyes are sharp.
Another snort.
I wonder what snort. We just heard another snort. And that sound is one that's being sick. Well, there's big potential there for a little second. But yeah, they'd probably be called sub-adults up until about 3 years old. And then after that, they'd become adults. It kind of depends, yeah, which book you read or who you've spoken to. Because some guys will say they're sub-adults until they have their first litter. But there obviously is that transition period. So you could be safe to say between 2 and 3, they'd still be sub-adults. I just heard, yeah, an impala snort. Yeah, they're definitely on high alert yet. We just heard an impala snort now over the ridge, the way the lions are facing, over that ridge there where Darren's. And that's where they turn their heads again. And so lions will also be very interested in hearing impalas that are alarming, that are not alarming at them, because it could mean that there's a leopard potentially or another predator that's made a kill, and then they could go and steal it. I'm just going to sit quietly for a bit so we can also listen and try and figure out what's going on. I can actually hear a lion contact calling. Oh my goodness. Okay, now we're going to try and stay with them. I could hear a lion contact calling that direction. And remember yesterday we said we had 8 of them. Your Dazza. We're going to have to quickly loop around. It could be.
We'll catch them there right on the road.
Okay, so just bear with us. We're going to try to stay with them. Our signal may dip as we go through here, but it should come back again on the other side. So I think the lion that's calling them could be the purple eye. They're just running now. So if it is the 9th member of their pride, it would be great because we might see like a big old greeting between them. And there she is. Look how happy they are. I'm just going to stop here so you can see the greeting. Oh, they're going to move. Let me just get a bit closer there, Dazza. So there's another vehicle here. So the one that's arrived now, she's the one that's now 3rd, yeah, the one on the right. So I think they might go into Buffelshoek Dam. Let's just update. Talamati Pride have regrouped with another lioness. They look like they might head towards Buffelshoek Dam. So we'll just watch them head off, but I think they are going to head to the dam. Let's see if we get lucky.
While the African bush is desperate for rain, spring is certainly in the air. Fresh green leaves are sprouting, flowers are adding color to the landscape, and many animals are preparing for the birth of their young. At the moment, large concentrations of wildlife can be found at waterholes, which are the lifeline for the animals. But soon the rains will arrive, and the bush will transform overnight. Seasonal rivers will start to flow, the bush will be filled with baby animals, and it will become a time of plenty. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer and join Ali and Jonty for a special Spring Has Sprung fireside chat on the 12th of September, straight after the Sunset Safari. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
It's day one of the annual South African Guide of the Year competition, and our first foot into this competition this morning is all about tracks and signs.
We're going to call you in one at a time. Just look at it, the information will be there.
Our 5 guides have been tasked by the judges at figuring out who is what is who, and where they go in the bush.
Either Franklin or guinea fowl, but because of the volume of other deposits in the area, we went with guinea fowl.
Detailing the surrounding that you need to look out for tracks. The details is very important.
Welcome back, everyone. Slowly but surely trickling out of this thick vegetation off to our right-hand side is this herd of zebra now, as they come for their early morning drink. And I'm sure one by one you'll see more and more starting to appear. It's actually quite a large herd of them. Deadly quiet as they drink though as well. Nothing in the water of harm to them, no crocodiles or the likes here. And those lions are super fast, so they can actually drink in peace this morning. Female in the middle kicking that male on the right hand side. as the rest of them now start trickling down to the water on the far side. Oh. Unbelievable. Chaos. Something might have just given them a bit of a fright there. Yeah, I got nothing, Oates. Couple of warthog now on the far side as well that have come down for a drink. Didn't see them in that thick vegetation. Oh, quick drink and off they go again. Calls of a brown-hooded kingfisher in the background, as well as a cardinal woodpecker. Unmistakable call of a rattling testicular as well. Turtle dove that you saw earlier now, that he had in picture out in the open. We're going to probably carry on from this watering hole and see if we can't find anything else this morning, but from one spot to another, we're going to head to John T, who's got some lions drinking this morning.
Very cool. These lions have all had a drink now. The one male still just finishing up. It's still weird though. There's... Yo, what has she seen there? Oh, I can't see it. The old lioness. Oh, she's on something here. How are their eyes so good? This is the one that they just joined up with.
I think you're crossing into Djuma.
So I might have to talk on the radar. There's a vehicle coming to join us. Let me duck down. It's amazing, and they all take their cue from her. As soon as she's interested now, they're all looking that way. I'm just scanning that side with my binoculars. I can't see. anything at the moment. Pretty cool to see her going across the dam wall like that. The Nsinga vehicle that's approaching, best to approach from the eastern side of Buffelshoek Dam. Their best hunting style is they stalk things. They have to get quite close. But the sort of big difference with them and leopards is if it's something big, they'll actually help each other bring it down. So that's why they can pull down prey much larger than themselves. But it is interesting, often when you watch them hunt, they actually, it seems like they hunt selfishly. So you'll see she's stalking then, and you'll see the others will try and see what she's looking at and will start stalking it on their own. And sometimes it works out perfectly, like it's a choreographed attack. And other times I'll often, one will move too soon or not be in position. So it is interesting to watch them hunt. So if you just look on that side of the dam, I can't see that front lioness. She's interested in something.
I see.
Copy, can you see what she's looking at?
I get this.
Okay, copied. So another vehicle's just joined us. They're on the other side of the dam. I was just asking them if they could see something. Go ahead, Ali.
More tracks for more lions in front this morning heading towards the area, so not sure if maybe the rest of them are there.
Okay, copied. Thank you. I'm just going to wait a little bit before I move. Another lion walking past the front of the car. And the last male coming past now. We might end up with a bit of a roadblock here. So Ellie was just saying she had lion tracks heading, did she say towards this area? I wonder which lions those are. Now they're actually going up onto the far side. I wonder what she's seen. We're definitely going to stay with them, that's for sure.
Yeah, obviously, the other Batota is moving parallel to the Shikoa, to the south. Maybe it will come around.
I'm just going to reposition. Yeah, let me reposition quickly. Okay, we're just going to try and reposition quickly. We're just at this beautiful dam, Buffelshoek Dam, and we just had some lions on the dam wall. There's one left. I'm just trying to turn us around. I think we just want to enjoy this moment with this young male on the dam wall here.
Jonty, they're going into the block here on the left of the road. It's a bit dense here, so we're going to go around on Quarry Pan and see if they come out.
Well, we've been exploring and puzzling about what's been happening on Torchwood at night. Torchwood was basically, or the area around the dam, riddled with lion tracks. Female, males going in this direction, some more coming in this direction, some more going in that direction. Seems like they've been going all over the place. And amongst all of that, there was one old leopard track. Oh, what is it there? You say leopard tracks and they appear. Pangolin, pangolin, pangolin. Maybe we'll get lucky. It's an old lion track. And then now we've got lion tracks coming down on the main road. So it's just been very confusing because I also know from the reports we've been getting that Jonty doesn't have all the lions there. So we had trucks coming back into Djuma from Torchwood, and then we had some more heading in the direction where they were going, but we didn't think that it was worth tracking them because if Jonty had all the lions, then we already knew where they'd come from. But yesterday we got confirmation that the lions came from the north, so it must be other lions that have left them and then just, I don't know, went and did their thing and then joining them up. I don't know if they got split up during the night or if perhaps some of them responded to Darkmane, because as far as I know, Darkmane is also not with the rest of the lions that are up there. So it's been interesting trying to piece all of that together, see who's going where and what's happening. We did manage to identify that some of the lionesses tracks that are on Torchwood, then they head south, and then we radioed Chitwa, and then the guys confirmed that there are tracks or for the Torchwood Pride on a nets. Where is happening here? We had lion tracks here on that road, I think, and then going down here. I'm gonna go down here. Let's see what's happening here. We had some more tracks in there. And yeah, so some of the tracks went south towards Annette's, just past Chitwa, and then some more tracks just carried on this road. So I don't understand what the lions are doing. Obviously, we've got some lions that have decided to go other places without the rest of the pride. And it makes more sense now that Jonty's up at Buffelshoek Dam. If we had the tracks here and they said their lions were hearing something or they went in that area, I wonder if perhaps these lions that we're looking at didn't actually end up... Oh, I'm being attacked. Didn't actually end up going up there somewhere. Definitely not what we were expecting. But those tracks just look too pretty not to be fresh. And here's where we had our crime scene earlier on. So I think there was a spot further down where we had the last tracks. So I just want to go check down there, see if effectively those tracks of those lions eventually turn and go towards Buffelshoek Dam. Because either they're the same lions and they got split up, or we've got other lions in here which could make things interesting. Just when you think that you understand what the animals are doing, they'll throw a wild card in there and be like, haha. But sadly, we pretty much driven all around this area. We didn't find any tracks for Thandi, any tracks for Marib's. The only tracks that we found were his old tracks going towards that termite mound where we saw him. And unfortunately, then we had covered all the ground we could in the good signal area. So we had to come back. There's some giraffe tracks here. It's been very funny because every time we've been driving, I just say to Morgan, I was like, Morgan, lion track going this way, lion track going that way, lion track going that way. They've been all over the show. They are definitely throwing us off. Nancy, here we do it old school. Sorry, I'm just trying to look for tracks here. I don't remember if they were here or there where we saw the last ones. Where you start driving and when you see the tracks, you try to follow them and see where the animal goes. We don't put colors or satellites or anything like that to be able to track the animals for ecotourism purposes. The animals that you do see with colors every now and again, that's all for research, and we don't have access to that data or where they are or where they've been moving. So we've got to do it the good old way where we just look for the tracks, try to find them, and then try to decipher where they've been going. I think they went up the other way. Can't remember now what I had the last tracks. Oh, this is quite funny. Let me show you guys something. I thought maybe this was a marula tree, but it's a knobthorn. But at the base of this knobthorn, we've got a bunch of these. Let me just put them on the dashboard. Alright, I'm losing them. Let me just plug myself in again. All of these little things, they're the nuts of the marula fruit. So it's quite interesting to find them there. And there's, as you know, this is not the fruit that is produced by the tree that is right next to us. And then as you can see in here, in all these little cavities, that's where the nut goes. And then that nut is what the squirrels are particularly after, because it's a very nutritious nut. A lot of the times, or in some of the local areas, people boil the nuts and then there's an oil that comes out of the nut, and then you can put that on your face as a moisturizer. In this case though, judging by the amount of elephant dung that there is around here and the amount of nuts that we're finding, I suspect all of these nuts actually have passed through the digestive system of an elephant. During the marula season, which is normally from January to March or so, elephants will eat as many marulas as they can, but not only elephants, pretty much every other creature around will try to indulge in marulas, including humans. And they'll eat a lot. So you find a lot of undigested seeds in their dung. So I think what happened here was that the elephant came and fed on the knobthorn in some of the guaris, or maybe even was resting by the shade, and then it defecated, and this is how a lot of the nuts ended up coming here, because there are, for once, no marula trees around where we are. So I think this is how those seeds got dispersed, but it just goes to show also how important it is as well for certain animals to feed on some of the fruits that we have around this area, and this is how the seeds then end up going into different places and colonizing, dispersing, becoming available and start growing in different parts than where they originated from. I was trying to see if we could find some more, but I'm not going to put the elephant dung on the dashboard. That might be a little too much, but I'm just going to throw them back in there. Sometimes also squirrels, they will grab the nuts and then go and bury them, and then they forget where they've buried them, and then they just put them in other places. Seems like Jonty's trying to keep up with his lions, so let's head over to him and find out how many he's got.
African hawk eagle. Thanks, Ali. Yeah, now the lions moved into a big block, and we are now trying to find them. It's a bit now needle in a haystack. There was another vehicle who followed them and told us where they headed in. So then we've kind of just got to now take an educated guess where they're going to pop out here. Unfortunately, if we were closer, I would have followed them directly where they went in. But let's see, maybe we'll get lucky. We'll try and weave our way through here. The trouble is, if they're still walking, then we might get lucky and see them the movement. But if they lie down in this stuff, we'll drive right past them. Yeah, dear watcher, that's what we're hoping for, is that they actually are on the hunt. The sort of lead lioness, the one who headed away from the dam, she looked this way intently, got up and came here. So that's what I'm hoping for. But what we need is to be able to see the lions, and unfortunately at the moment we can't. I'm a bit frustrated with myself. I should have just gone to where this guy said he saw them go in rather than loop around. Well, they might have already walked past this area. And everything looks lion colored. While we try and figure a way through here, you're going to head back to Mike at Prideland.
We did relocate from Leopard Dam, and we've come to Ndlovu Dam close to the camp, and we found leopard tracks. Fresh ones from last night, because in fact this leopard was at the dam last night and we all saw it, which was fantastic. Just around about 6 o'clock this leopard came to drink at Ndlovu Dam and then walked promptly right through the camp almost to get out of the other side. Simultaneously there was a snake found in the camp and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it was a very exciting night last night, very active. But I actually think there were 2 leopards here. I saw this track, quite big and robust, and there's a set of tracks here which are a bit smaller, which I thought, okay, that could have stepped strangely with its legs quite close together. But then I looked back over here and I noticed there's a set of tracks, 2 of them in a row, and there's another track just over there. So it almost certainly seems like 2 leopards must have been walking here, and in all likeliness it was probably Pixie Pan female and her young female, I can't really call it a cub anymore, it's sub-adult, so her youngster. The male seems to have moved off now, which is quite typical. the male leopard is bigger and stronger than the female, the mother even, and so she wouldn't tolerate him being around because he keeps stealing all of the food. He'll probably still be in the area, but because he's a subadult now, his own father, will start to put a lot of pressure on him to move out. He will get scratched and clawed and bitten and killed, actually, if he stays too long in his father's territory. So he will probably have moved off. But it's nice to see that these leopards are still always around our camp. Of course, they're potentially dangerous, of course, always. These are wild animals, and they are hunted. So at night you should be careful, but they know that we're here, and we're not on their menu. So as long as we're vigilant and we keep an eye out and we use our torches at night and we can spot them, we can keep out of their way. In fact, just a couple of days ago, one of these two leopards was found in a tree in the camp. I think it was early in the morning, or maybe it was during the night. It was really, really exciting. So hopefully they'll be around again tonight. Often they'll spend 2 or 3 nights around the waterhole. And we'll see if they come back.
The Masai Mara in Kenya is an iconic wilderness filled with life. Its inspirational beauty has captivated our hearts on WildEarth for many years. While this season of the world's greatest migration has been missed, WildEarth is preparing a spectacular comeback in 2022. For the first time ever, WildEarth will be running expeditions to Kenya's Masai Mara throughout the 2022 migration season. Hosted by David Githu and Isaac Rotich, you could be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration with the world, live on WildEarth's daily safaris. If you're interested, then head over to our website to find out more.
I think sometimes you need just to listen. So it's a kind of taking out all that other spirit and bring back wilderness and healthy. Bushwalk and trek and sign. I'm sure I'm good at that. I spend most of my time on the ground since I was a young boy, so I think I'm good with that. Actually, I'm not much nervous of any category. Just take it as it is. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on what the judges are looking at. So chances are 50-50 on my side. I'm not... Obviously, when you go for a competition, you say you win.
I've seen something I've never seen here before. Look at these cubs. One is crossing the river. It's being washed away, unfortunately, but I'm sure the mother is going to save her. Look at that. How beautiful. Look at that. One crossing, 2 to go.
So welcome back, everybody. So as Johan and myself promised that we're going to go back to those lions that we had last night on a wildebeest carcass. And we are in the area. And yeah, it looks like those lions have finished off that carcass. And also we've seen quite a lot of hyena tracks moving up and down. So yeah, there's nothing left here. But as you can see right in front of your screens, you can see the track there. Actually, a little bit left of your screen, you can see the indentation of the toes. All right, so this is when these lions were moving from the carcass, and it looks like now they are heading in a easterly direction. So I'm trying to think of where the nearest waterholes are, because I'm thinking that's where they might be going. So yeah, I'm thinking there's one waterhole that I know of, further east of here, and there's another big waterhole just on our west. But these lions' tracks looks like they're heading that way. So let's check that waterhole first. and see if maybe we'll be lucky there. I mean, after eating that amount of raw meat, I mean, they will have to eventually go drink somewhere. But as we go on following up on these tracks of the lions, I'm going to send you over to Jonty, who also has the lions.
Okay, we are live. So we found them again. They're just moving a little bit more. It does seem like they're potentially wanting to start settling. The sun is getting warm. I'm still perplexed to where the 9th lion is. And Ali's also got tracks not far from here of what looks like a number of lionesses and a male lion. Not far at all. Around Central Road, in Ngala Road North, which is really not far from where we are. What is the size of a lion's paw? So let me just turn that down. The quick, simple answer is big. But I want to tell you exactly. I've got a tracker manual with me, and I'll tell you the size. So, a male, well, according to this book, the one that they measured was 138 millimeters long, and that would be the front foot, and the hind foot is 127 millimeters. So that's 13.8 centimeters. And what's frightening about that is just the bottom. That's the track that we see. That's just the toe. So the top side is even bigger than that, because that's where all the meat, fur, tendons is all above the track that we see. So that is pretty big. I don't know if I've got anything here for reference. That's not far. Can you get on here? There's that. So I'm just showing you in this book. This is 14 centimeters where my thumb is. So it's 13.8, just a bit below that. You can see my binoculars next to it. That's that in my hand even. So that's how big the track is. Very, very large indeed. But they are on a good spot here, a bit of shade. They've been quite active for most of the morning. But similar to yesterday, I think today is going to be warm. And so they'll probably rest up. I think I can hear. Does that sound like Wendy to you, Darren?
See if it does it.
I wonder which way these lions are going to go. Like I said, I've been saying it the whole morning, but I still cannot understand why they got on the buffalo and then left it. A happy hyena, I definitely think so. I think they would 100% be able to smell if there have been other lions in their turf. They wouldn't like that at all. Yeah, I'm just still, I could understand if they got on that buffalo and had hardly sort of injured him, but the buffalo that Tristan reported, he said it had been hammered. Its whole tail missing, sort of big chunks missing out of its rump, scratches all over the place, and really not in a good way. Then I can't understand, unless it wasn't these lions that got on that buffalo. So you never know. There are obviously more than one pride of lion that move around here. It is interesting, you could say the only lioness with the head up is the oldest one. She still seems quite attentive in that direction. And all the youngsters are just fast asleep.
I'll be fine on top of car. Thanks, man. I'll see you afternoon. Okay, cool. Another one's back on
the yeah. The direction she's looking is back down towards Djuma Dam. Oh, there's a lion walking past us. Look at this one's tail there. Oh, what's hanging off the back there? It was interesting, as this young male's approached, that oldest lioness is busy growling at him. So I'm just going to talk on the radio quickly. Yeah, no, they've gone stationary now. I'm still in that same block. What's your position now?
Junction of Ngala
Okay, I'm east and slightly north of that junction. Not too far, maybe 100 or 200 meters from the road.
Okay, copy that. Just update me when they get up again.
Okay, copied, I will do.
Thank you so much, Jonty. Yeah, we basically heading to that waterhole. There's a tiny sort of pan a little bit further down here, maybe another minute or two. Yeah, that's my best bet actually, to go have a look and see if they actually did go there. And also this block is so big, you know, I don't know if maybe there are some pans in this block here. So if they do find water in this block, they'll just drink in there and maybe find a bit of a shade and just lay down. Very nice and open, these areas where we're driving. I mean, as you remember, we moving away from winter heading towards spring. It's nice and open, so you can actually look around and try to see if maybe there's any movement. But at the moment, there's actually really is nothing. But maybe it's because of the heat. So animals try to stay away as it becomes hotter and hotter.
Welcome back to andBeyond Phinda, everybody. We've come down to one of our favourite little spots at quite a large watering hole, and we've stumbled across quite a big giraffe on the banks of the water. It hasn't quite drunk just yet, and we're hoping that it does so as it's here. Still busy feeding. A couple of hippo moseying about as well, just off to the left-hand side. Looks like quite a young calf that's just laid down. Also just enjoying some sun. Still relatively chilly, not quite in the height of summer yet, so for them to come out and warm up, not unusual. Summer months when the sun is a bit too harsh, you might not see them out as often as we are now. Still trying to get a last meal in. Mom obviously having to work overtime to provide for the youngster. You can hear the white-breasted cormorants as well. Typically at this watering hole, very, very noisy birds. Cormorants in picture just wading across, so just looking for its meals. And there's the rest of them. Beautiful little spot this. In the background, one of the mountains that we often try and look for leopards in and around. But very quiet the southern part of the reserve this morning. We didn't have any luck with those lions, and by the sounds of it, everyone else was also really unsuccessful in their search for some of the bigger cats. Did see tracks of a couple of elephants around here, and I'm sure sometime during the day they too might come down here for a drink of water at some stage.
Just hold it in your hand.
Just having a look at those. Those are 4 grey-headed gulls on the far side. Some Egyptian geese and some goslings just on the left of the hippo. Every so often there's African fish eagle here at this dam as well. But I don't see any of them here. Good spot to look out for more of the kingfishers, the pied kingfisher as well as the malachite kingfisher perched along the banks. We're going to sit and enjoy the scenes out here while you have a look at a prize that's coming up for andBeyond Phinda.
Calling all WildEarth explorers, we have a new and frankly awesome travel prize for you to win. andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve encompasses an impressive 28,000 hectares of protected wildlife land in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. As you have seen on WildEarth, andBeyond Phinda showcases one of the continent's finest game viewing experiences and is well known for close-up sightings of the elegant yet elusive cheetah as well as the rare black rhino. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer before the 16th of September, and you and a friend could be heading to the magnificent Phinda Mountain Lodge, where you will spend 3 nights escaping the real world at this ultimate safari location. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
Welcome back, everybody, to your live safari. As we were busy looking for the lions, we just came across these magnificent animals that you can see right in front of the screens. And these are southern giraffes that you see there. Actually 2 of them. There's one that is further right of your screen. You can only see the head part. So actually they are looking in that one particular direction. So the 2 are actually looking further sort of west, where we just came from actually. And normally that is sort of like that stance or that look that they give when there is predators or even anything else that can catch their attention. You find that they, stand still and they stare in that one particular area. I mean, not that one that you're looking at is actually just looking at us, but the other 2, they're looking at the opposite direction further down there. And they haven't been feeding at all. So I'm just wondering what they are looking at.
I mean, they could be also be looking at other giraffes that maybe we can't see, or other antelopes in the distance. It's quite interesting. She's looking intently in that area. And like, unlike other animals, you know, when they see a predator or something of danger, they will alarm call, make certain distress calls. But with these giraffes, actually, they don't vocalize at all. They just stare in that area. Sometimes you get a bit of like, you know, stomping on the ground with their, you know, front feet. And that's what happens when usually they see something that could pose danger to them. It's very interesting. It looks like almost all of them are all females. Very thin ossicones, or what you call horns, but they actually are ossicones with a bit of black tip at the top. So I'm thinking, let's leave these animals be, because whatever that female is looking at is probably, you know, I'm thinking not even a predator, because the other one is not even looking that direction that she's looking. Because if there was a predator, they will all be looking in that area. But it only looks like it's only just here, and the other one was actually feeding earlier on, so probably maybe other antelopes in that area. So we're close to that little waterhole. We're gonna go there and overlook and see if maybe we could find any signs of the lions.
I have a degree in environmental planning and development. My passion is outdoor classrooms. We are not only grooming the environmentalists of tomorrow, but tomorrow's leaders as well. My long-term goal is for the people of South Africa to learn how to live sustainably, to be able to look after themselves and the environment. So I hope that through environmental education, we are able to get that message to the future generation of South Africa, so that they start now and can continue that good practice in the future. Environmental education is critical so that people can live sustainably in the future. That is my long-term goal.
And I turned to Shaw and I saw that she had this panicked look on her face. You know, either she was afraid that something had happened, or she was afraid that she was going to miss out on something. But instead of her missing out on those lions, we drove up next to them and I switched off the car so that she could hear what was going on. Now, these lions had killed a kudu, and she could hear these two cubs, both 8 months old at the time, busy pushing and shoving each other out the way to get to the best parts of the meat. And the mom was lying just to the side in the shade. Now, I'd known that before losing her sight, Sean probably knew what a lion looked like. But I really wanted her to know what this lion looked like. So for the first time in my guiding career, I started to describe to someone what a lion looked like. And I found that, you know, I started to notice things in that lion that I'd never seen before.
You are cheeky. That was a brave decision. Amber Eyes is... Oh. That is so magic. That was absolutely wonderful. Amber Eyes just gave that cub an enormous hug.
Expect the unexpected here on WildEarth daily.
Okay, so we've now repositioned for the 700th time. But it's interesting, the old lioness, the one that they regrouped with, she keeps moving off, and then when these come to join her, she growls at them. It was interesting how she growled, but was staring straight at my legs, which were hanging outside the car. And then she walked past, and now she's walking away. So these may get up and follow her, but it's interesting. I wonder why she seems very irritated with them. Unless she's crossed that she was trying to catch a buffalo and they were just sleeping on the side of the road. When it's quite understandable. Happy hyena. It is a tricky one because it's interesting, you know, similar to human averages and things like that. You get, most lions will fit into a certain category, but every now and again you get these absolute juggernauts. I do remember there was a male lion at Conrad. We actually had to dart him to help him. He was covered in mange. And so we weighed him, but he was also full. He had basically eaten a whole kudu. I can't remember, I think he was about 275 kilograms, somewhere there. But without even weighing him, he was an absolute brute of a lion. Maybe not the most handsome, but he was just almost like a freak. He's just so big. But yeah, I've been very fortunate to see a lot of male lions, and they are always impressive. And it's often the ones that are not the biggest that sort of are the most aggressive or most hectic. I know with the Gari males, I think some people call them the Birmingham males, who came down, there was one of them was also bigger than the others. He was, and it's funny, it's just a coincidence, but whenever you see a big lion, they seem to have a matted bit of hair in the bottom of their mane, like one dreadlock. If a lion's got dreadlocks, then it's big. That is not based on any scientific evidence. But there was a lioness at Phinda, actually, that we all called Quantum. Oh, look at this. These are going to walk right past us here. I missed that one. But she was a reaction to the contraceptives that they gave her, but she was ginormous. I think she weighed 200 kilograms. Come on, give us one walk by. Thank you very, very much for joining us this morning at all the various feeds. We've loved having you with us, and I've absolutely loved spending the whole morning with these lions. It's epic. Darren and I are super stoked. And please join us this afternoon when we'll do it all again.